everybody. It's Cynthia Porter again with Visit Winona. This is Ed Hoffman. He's not running the camera. He's just sitting over here on this side because we're going to do our first ever Q&A for Facebook Live. We had a little technical trouble because we're not used to filming it in this perspective, so we went live and we were sideways, and then we had to stop and return the camera around, and I think, I don't know.
I think it's working.
I don't know. Okay, so we have some questions, and also, if you have questions, let me see if I can just get it up here. If you have questions, you can type them in the comments. We're going to be able to see them, and we'll answer them right now. But we have been collecting some questions leading up to this moment. So here we go. Let's see. When the series began, was there a specific place or activity you were hoping would win that didn't? I was kind of hoping that the car museum, that big auction would win.
That's right.
We
yeah.
had there's a S&G, is it S&G auctions?
I think so.
It's
Yeah.
Remlinger car museum. It's kind of a new place in Winona, and they have a fantastic, like really special classic car museum. But they also had a show or an auction that. I guess there were thousands of people
like
there.
4,000 people.
Yeah, I know. So I kind of wanted to see that.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Sometimes, to be honest, even if something loses, we'll still go.
Yeah, we did that this summer a couple times.
What did we do?
We did. Remember Mississippi Sippin' was like.
Well, there was
it
wine.
lost by 1 point or something.
Right, and also there's wine at Mississippi Sipping. So
yeah, that's true. There is wine and beer at Mississippi Sipping.
I mean,
and it was a beautiful night.
It was a perfect day,
yeah.
And that's such a great event. Okay, let's see. I'm not doing a good job watching the comments, Ed. You got to help me do that. But here's another question. Is there one Winona activity you absolutely would not do?
Ooh, that's a good question.
There is.
Mine would be a Q&A on Facebook Live.
Well, check box that one.
Yeah.
I would never do the polar plunge. I couldn't do it. It would cause me so much pain, like physical pain. And I would never jump off the wagon bridge.
You know it's going to show up as a suggestion.
I know, and okay.
I don't think we can jump. We can't jump off.
I don't. Well,
I don't
people
think
do.
But it's not legal. I don't think.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it is.
I don't know. Is it legal to jump off the wagon bridge? Anyone? Does anyone know?
Wait a minute. I thought it was our Q&A.
So I don't know the answer to that. I know that people certainly do, and actually, with the water so extremely high, I think that it was not as dramatic a jump as before. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at my computer because I'm trying to just make sure that I can see the feed and what's going on. So I guess it wasn't as terrifying a jump, but still I think it's really dangerous. Stuff floats in the water, and logs are submerged, and people get hurt, and I think it's a horrible idea. So if 1 million people put in the comments that we should do that. Hey, yeah, there we are. If 1 million people put in the comments to jump off the wagon bridge, I would not do it. Aaron Rapinski says, no, it is not legal to jump off the wagon bridge.
No, it's not legal, or no, it's
no, it is legal.
It is legal.
Aaron, tell us. Okay, so let's see. What is the most challenging aspect of the series? I'm going to go for the technical piece of it first. Ed, what do you think?
I'd say it's trying to... I mean, we did 3 nature walks in a row last month.
Right.
And trying to keep my eye on the camera, and you're walking backwards. And
right.
There's definite danger. I mean, this is a dangerous job, guys.
Yeah, there are moments of true danger.
Yeah.
Also, one of the oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Minneapolis Northwest Tourism. We are filming at a coffee shop. We should have sent that, but we got all kerfluffled.
We just jumped right in.
I know, because we were trying to start, and then we were sideways, and so we had to cancel it and abort and start back up. So we're at Blooming Grounds Coffee House. This is actually kind of our de facto office. Ed and I meet here all the time, especially in the wintertime. They have a little fireplace going in there. It's so nice, and they make great coffee, and we drink way too much of it. So we're in a back room, actually, out in the main areas. There's a lot of people working on their computers and having coffee and talking to their friends. So yes, so we are at Blooming Grounds Coffee Shop downtown. So I think the most challenging thing that I have experienced in this is just our cellular connectivity has been really a problem, really a problem. And I'm gonna get a phone call about this, I'm sure. But my previous assistant Emily was using her camera to do the filming up until January, and then I was doing the filming with my camera. She had Verizon. I have Sprint. Sorry, Sprint. But they just do not perform well for upload speeds for a live video. And so I have to be, even on Wi-Fi, it's really not been good. And so we actually, that's probably the saddest thing for me is seeing some of those, and the upload quality is really poor on them, and it just feels so out of our control, because we'll look at the phone and it'll say we have 3 bars, and then it'll just go blurry. And so we are actually investing in a Verizon hotspot to do our Facebook Live from. So there you go. Somebody from Sprint is going to send me mail, but I'm just telling you the truth.
Oh, we got a response from Aaron.
Aaron, it's illegal to jump.
I knew it.
Only if you get caught, or only if someone is pointing a gun at you. That's the only way that would happen for me. So, only if you get caught. Okay. Oh, so Kate Carlson is asking us in the comments, how do we prepare for each segment? Honestly, some of the stuff I know. And it's just because I've lived here for about 25 years, and I was a newspaper reporter for about 10 of those years. So, and I've been involved with organizations, so they just, there are things that stay in your head, things that you know. There's a lot of things that I don't know, though, and this has sent us all over the place. I mean, to places I've never been inside of before. And so I do try to go online and read something about it. I might ask people. Sometimes we'll ask the place for talking points, and so that gives us a little bit of a hand in having some information, because
sometimes I'm looking stuff up on the car ride there.
That is true. That has happened. I'm like, Ed, please look up. What did you have to just look up for me? Oh, you had the state park.
Bluffs,
the Great River Bluffs State Park, yeah. Because we just didn't understand the history of it or the acreage of it. And then the other problem is trying to keep it in my head, so I read this stuff, and Ed feeds me stuff sometimes, and I really struggle to, be talking all the time and thinking and walking and not falling down, and that has come really close to happening a couple times.
New question. Explore
Mississippi Bluffs. Who has made you laugh the most?
That's a tough one. We've had some fun. I'm gonna have to say, and this is in no way related to the fact that Ed used to own this bar, but I'm gonna have to say when we were at Ed's No Name Bar, and actually when I say we, I mean me, because Emily had just gone to Denver and Ed was not on board yet, so I was doing the filming myself of it, and it was my birthday, and so I think that was kind of fun, and there were people in there who knew it was my birthday, and so I had a good time on that one. I think that was probably the most fun that I had. The dairy farm was pretty fun.
Oh my God! All right, the dairy.
We laughed a little bit.
We
at that
laughed
place.
quite a bit at that. Yeah, and that would also be like one of. If people ask me, if it was between climbing Sugarloaf, climbing the ice park, or milking a cow, I would go back to one of those climbing walls for sure. Because,
really?
The cow was just like mad at me, and it was trying to kick me, and I felt terrible. That was not my. That was. It was funny. I mean, like, it was pretty funny, but that was not my favorite thing. Okay, so let's see. New question. Let's see. How can you walk backwards for so long without falling down? It's gonna happen. I mean, one of these times it's gonna happen. I've run into stuff and I've stumbled a few times, but never fallen. But there's.
We just don't get too close to the edge on those nature
right.
walks.
There's a lot of time left for that to happen. Let's see. Do the places that you visit for Facebook Live know you're coming, or do you surprise them? Well, we do always try to reach out to them to connect and let them know that they're in the poll, because we want them to tell their followers too. Like, we want people to vote, and so if we have a coffee shop and a museum or something in the poll that week, we'll tell them on Monday morning. So that
and we
they
try
can
to
push
tag
it
them
out.
in the post.
Yeah, sometimes
Possible.
Facebook makes that tricky.
That's true.
But so we don't surprise them. I think there are times though where it's such a public space or public thing that there's really nobody we can connect with. Like the state parks and things like that. But let's see. What gave you the idea to start this series? Well, about a year and a half ago, we just knew that Facebook Live was hot, but we just felt kind of dorky. Like, what do we do? What are we gonna do live? And so we did a few things live where, like, I would go live and I wouldn't even be in it. I would just be showing you live at the Levy concert or something like that, and that was cool because you got to see stuff, but it was also kind of lame, there was no faces at all in it, and so then we just thought, well, we could pick places, but you guys all have places that you want to see, and there's another question I saw, like, what's been one of the most rewarding things for you about this? And I'll tell you that having you guys reach out in the comments, and also, I mean, sometimes we run into people in town who have been watching the series. Sometimes we run into people in town who are not even from town, who are visiting, who have been watching this series. And we hear from a lot of you in Facebook, where you are leaving comments or you're sending us messages, and you're all over the world. I mean, people all over the world are watching this, right? I mean, we were doing shout outs one day to, like, Hawaii, I think the Philippines. It's just, to me, to see people all get a chance to post and talk about things that they love about Winona, that for me is really rewarding, because I love Winona. I think Ed loves Winona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What's
think
not to love?
I think for me, actually, that's a big part of it. For me, like, the most rewarding thing that I experienced doing it is being able to visit places that I've lived around almost my whole life as kind of a tourist,
Yeah.
to see it from the perspective of somebody who may not have come here before.
Right. Yeah. Kate Carlson, our partnership director at Visit Winona, had a program going that she was kind of working with all the different hospitality businesses in town, trying to help their front of the house staff consider themselves like look at Winona through the eyes of a tourist, so that they could be really a lot more helpful. And so it was called, like, tourist in your backyard sort of an idea. And I definitely feel the same way, that there are a lot of things about Winona that I didn't appreciate very fully myself.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that I've been already in the 5 months I've been doing this that I had never been to before.
Right. Right.
So we have a couple new questions.
Yeah, okay, so to Ed and Cynthia, do you look at or use Facebook differently now that you are Facebook stars?
Oh, Kate.
Kate. I feel more like a circus monkey than a Facebook star. You know what I mean? Like, I feel I feel like I don't feel like a star at all. I felt like a star one time, actually. I'll tell you one story. I was at Bronx Garden Center, and I was buying plants this summer and a gentleman had a couple of young kids with him, came up to me and he asked me if I was the lady who was doing the Facebook, and I said yes, and he was Spanish, and he said that he and his family had been in Spain through the whole winter, and so his kids watched that was their favorite show. Every week they watched it, and it just reminded them of Winona, and so they stayed tethered to Winona during their months and months in Spain by watching this Facebook Live, and I felt like a rock star in that moment. And then the kids were like, you know, hey, how's it going? You know, right? Oh my gosh, that was cool. But you know, I'll tell you, funny, I'm on Facebook a lot less probably for my personal Facebook because
I never look at my personal Facebook anymore. It's all business, baby.
I know. I mean, you just, yeah. So I do think that the one way that I look at Facebook a little bit differently about with Facebook Live is that I see now what a tremendous connector Facebook is.
That's
you know,
true, yeah.
Like for me before it was always just like, here's a funny thing I saw. That's what my friend ate for dinner. You know, it's just like kind of a one-on-one interactions, and this is just, I feel like it's building sort of this online community for Winona, and so I appreciate that differently, I think, about Facebook than before. Okay, Bill Cool. So do we tweak the length of the videos because attention spans seem pretty short on the internet? Yeah, that's a tough one. Our videos have gone everywhere from, I think the shortest one ever was about 8 minutes, and the longest one ever was about 30 minutes. And, you know, I realize that not everybody really watches all of every one of these. And in fact, some people, you know, might watch 1 minute. Some people might watch half, and I know it depends on how long it is too, but it kind of, we let the destination that we're in sort of dictate how long it's going to have to be.
Yeah, nothing is scripted.
Nothing is scripted.
I mean, we come in with like
a
few facts and a general idea of what we're going to do, but but it's just, we just shoot from the hip.
Right, 100%. So
and the videos are live, so we can't tweak them after the fact, really. Although we have had a couple that we've had to record because of connectivity issues.
Who has been your favorite Winona character you've met on this series? What do you think?
That's a tough one.
I think I'm gonna have to say Richard at the Alexander Mansion.
Yeah, he's
I love that
I wasn't
dude.
on that.
Oh yeah, that was last year.
One, but
yeah, I just love that dude. I mean, he's just so sweet, and he was, you know, he didn't want to be on the camera, you know, but then
that
he agreed to talk for just like he talked for just 1 minute and then was like, you know, trying to stay out of our way. He was pretty funny. Let's see. What has been the most surprising reaction to or by followers or people commenting? Well, we got trolled once, and it was a bad deal because I was doing the filming myself, and Emily was not in town. This was before Ed came, and somebody, you know, the internet is full of people with too much free time, and they're kind of unkind, and so somebody started trolling, like asking if I was a hooker.
Nice,
and if I lived under the bridge, and other things that were really unkind. And I don't know if you've ever done Facebook Live and had people comment, but the comments kind of scroll by pretty quickly, and so I wasn't seeing them. But it wasn't until like then somebody was texting me during it saying, like, you know, somebody's trolling you and saying this stuff to you, and so we deleted those comments, of course, and we blocked that person because that was just
rude.
That was a crappy thing to do.
Yeah.
It was a really crappy thing to do. I think the other thing that was, you know, probably the worst I've ever felt doing Facebook Live is when I did the St. Mary's University campus, and I had asked the university for some talking points. This is certainly not their fault. I had asked the university, though, for some talking points. I hadn't even stepped foot on that campus in, I don't know, 12 years or 15 years or something. It'd been a really, really long time. And so I did that walking tour, and as I walked through, I just, I was referring to the talking points that they had given me, and one of the monuments, I didn't know what it was. I just noticed that it was really beautiful, and I looked to try to see what was this statuary kind of installation about, and I couldn't tell from anything that was on the outside of it, and so I made a comment like, maybe it must be someone who made a donation to the university or something. I just didn't know. And oh my God, I just got absolutely flailed, beaten to death in the comments by someone because or maybe a couple people, no, really one person, because it was the memorial for the 5 St. Mary's students who had died in a car accident in the river, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know that, and so they were really unkind about it, and I felt really bad about that because I wasn't being cavalier at all about these students, and I remember when that happened, and so that was one thing that I didn't know when we did the Facebook Live that I wish that I had known, but I still felt like I certainly try to know. I try to know enough to give a reasonable presentation about a place, but I can't know everything, and it's never intended to be disrespectful ever. So that surprised me a lot.
A couple new questions.
Hang on. With winter just around the corner, what place or activity are you most looking forward to potentially visiting live?
I think we should go sledding.
Oh yeah.
St.
Yeah.
Mary's. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
That hill's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably sledding.
Don't you
As
think?
long as no one
It'd be fun.
ever says the polar plunge.
Yeah, no
because
polar plunge, no way.
I just, but also snowshoeing. We had never have gone snowshoeing. Last year we did the Canadian Pacific Holiday Train. That was fun. Yeah, I tried to learn how to ice skate last winter.
Nice.
I'd like to never do that again. That was bad. That was
Yeah.
really bad. Okay.
Did you play broom ball?
Oh, no.
That might be fun.
Oh.
I have a lot of friends who play. I've never
Do
done
you?
it. Yeah.
I have been injured badly playing
really?
broom ball.
Okay.
I had a dent in my shin for like 5 years. I think I might still have it from a broom ball game like 10 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah. Which actually ties right into Aaron Rapinski's question. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you on camera? I'm going to have to go with that ice skating, I think, because I don't know how to ice skate. And so I was trying, and Emily was the filmer at the time, and she's a great ice skater. She used to play hockey. And so she brought me a chair, like a little kid uses a chair, for balance to ice skate. So she brought me a chair. But what had happened, the lake had been really smooth. So it was supposed to be easy-ish to stand up on ice skates, but then something happened. It got warm, and then it froze really quick. Whatever it was, it made it super, super bumpy. And so even with these ice skates on, laced up tight, and the chair, I was a mess. I was absolutely a wreck.
Yeah, I'd be terrible at that.
I was really a wreck. Yeah. So, so that was embarrassing. I can't think of anything else that is funnier than that. One of the things that honestly has been fun for me is to be able to make fun of myself because I didn't want to be in front of the camera. When we first started this idea, Emily and I sat down and more or less did like paper, rock, scissors, where I said, okay, Emily, you're going to do you're young and attractive and you have a friendly smile. I want you to do the camera. And she said, no, I can't I'm not going to do the camera. I'm not going to be in front of the camera. And I said, why? And she said, I'm an introvert. I can't do it. And I said, well, so I'm kind of a little bit of an introvert too. I mean, I'm a little bit shy, and so I was terrified. The first one, I was wearing it. If you ever go back and look at the first one, I did not think I was going to be doing Facebook Live. I was wearing like a racerback tank top. You know, I had no business in front of the camera, but I just had to do it, and I got through it, and I babbled and I babbled and I babbled and I babbled, and at the end, it wasn't too bad. And then I realized, like,
What was the first one?
The visitor center.
Oh, the visitor center.
Yeah, we should go back to the visitor center.
Yeah. Looked nice in there when we were there today.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. How are we doing?
We need some more questions.
Hang on. All right,
We have some that were messaged in.
Right, here we go. What was more scary to climb, Sugarloaf or the ice wall? For sure, Sugarloaf. For sure.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason is that the ice wall, you are like, you have these hooks, and you have like the crampons on your feet. They sent me up a really easy path, and you can't see the expanse of anything around you. All you see is this wall of ice right in front of you, and so you feel really close to it, and also, you know, you're tied in and stuff. You just can't fall. You can't fall if you want to. But climbing Sugarloaf, you're climbing up rocks, and you can just see, you know, the river valley down there and stuff, and that was really scary for me. That was really scary.
Yeah, my one experience rope climbing was frightening. It's like 20 years ago. I haven't done it again since.
How do you pick the locations featured in the polls? Okay, so we have a master list that is, I don't know, it's got to be 150 things long. There are things that we thought of. There are things that people asked us to put in our inventory of different places. And so Ed and I will sit down at the beginning of a month and look out for the next month or 6 weeks, sometimes even longer, and try to figure out, okay, what events are happening that would be appropriate to, you know, we could only do it at that time of year because that event is only then. Also, what places have not been featured, and what are, you know, a couple different things to give people just really a
broad perspective
a wide
of Winona.
choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So if you're wondering what kinds of things are on the list, I can tell you really, just like everything you can think of, really, everything. I think everything you can think of.
Yeah.
Here's the whole intention behind this, is that we know most of our followers, like something along the lines of about 85% of our Facebook followers do not live in Winona. But you're connected to Winona somehow. Maybe you used to live here, your kids went to school here, your grandma lived here, something like that. And so the whole intention is that we wanted to give people a look at places that they loved. We wanted to remind you, just kind of warm your heart up with a look at things that you loved about Winona, that you remembered fondly, and also be able to show you new things about Winona that we think are exciting, that we think that people would like.
Yeah, it seems it's changing all the time, really.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, so now there's a new Japanese restaurant. That's going to go on the list. The things that are not on the list would be just like, I don't know. Is there anything we wouldn't put on the list? No. I mean,
I mean, we've even put, like, you know, the courthouse on the list.
I know. It hasn't won.
It hasn't won.
It's had some tough competition.
Yeah. The courthouse.
Yeah.
We should just bring that up once a month or so until it wins. Yeah.
It'll be like the Susan Lucci of, if you get that reference, you're old.
I got that reference. Yeah.
Susan Lucci was All My Children. She was never won
Yeah,
the
she never won.
Emmy.
But then she finally won.
She finally won. I'll tell you one thing about the poll, or about getting a Facebook Live. You can't buy it. You can't. It doesn't matter what kind of arrangements Visit Winona has with you as a partner, or it doesn't matter how powerful you are in Winona. There is no amount of money that can buy a Facebook Live. It is only decided through the vote.
Yep.
And so we do get a lot of requests from people who say, like, yeah, I'd like to get one of those Facebook Lives scheduled for my business.
and we just say that's just not how it works. And so we'll put that business into the inventory, and Erica Kane, yeah, thank you, Teresa.
Thanks, Teresa.
Erica Kane was Susan Lucci, yeah. But it truly is a crowd chosen poll at winner, and it's never ever been just because we owed someone something or they gave us money or we wanted to promote a business.
Totally democratic.
Yeah, we really don't do it to promote businesses either. I mean, sorry, it's not really for the business. It's for
yeah, it's for you guys.
Yeah, it's for viewers. You know. So okay, what else?
We have a new one.
Where? Let's see. I've never been.
Oh, you've
just
never
looked up the courthouse. It's beautiful. It is really beautiful.
Lovely.
I don't think that they would let us film inside.
I don't know. I know. I think that the last time it was on, it was a walk
outside.
around the courthouse.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't think that they would let us
We
film
have
it
another
inside.
new question.
Do you have the series uploaded to YouTube? Yes, we
do.
do. So
I think it's almost
Go ahead.
up to date. I think we might have a week or two that isn't on YouTube yet, but we go through and put the videos on YouTube, and we do have a YouTube channel.
here's a funny question. Before you go live, do you have any rituals or things you must do before pressing record? Well, like have the camera go the right way is that's a if any of you saw it, like we started and we were totally sideways, and so but it's because Ed's on this side, not on that side, and so everything is reversed, everything is different. But that reminds me, I'm going to go backwards to a question that said, like, what was the most surprising thing someone said? So the audio has also been a technical issue that we've really battled with. We have a microphone system that's on the cell phone that has a windscreen on it, and it's a really, really nice microphone. It's a Rode microphone, but it's not good enough, and I have to still stay really close to it, and if there's any wind at all, it's wrecked. So anyway, we invested in a really nice microphone, but we can't make it work with the cell phone.
Wireless mic, yeah.
We can't make it work yet. So hopefully once we get that sorted out, it's never going to be an issue again. But there was a thread of comments once that somebody was mad. They're like, I can never hear her. I can't hear her.
Oh, yeah.
I can never hear her. I'm like, I'm trying to be close enough, and I'm trying to enunciate, and I'm trying to not turn my head and talk because I realize you can't hear it in the microphone. But oh my gosh, I just got chewed up by these comments about like, yeah, and then she says a lot too, and I was like, I'm live right now. I was like, I'm doing the best I can. Okay. Okay. So where was I going before that?
I think we're ready for another question.
I know. All right, let me see. There might be one more good one on here. We've been going for a while. Let's see. Oh, what's the standout fact you have learned about Winona that you didn't know before the series began?
Standout fact. I don't know about a standout fact, but I will say that I'd never been to Kinstone Circle before.
Yeah,
and that was awesome.
That
was
place
so cool.
was special.
Yeah, that was really special.
Right.
And it was one of our most watched episodes, and I think it may have gotten the most votes of any other place in a poll.
Right.
And it was just really cool and such a beautiful spot, about maybe 7-8 miles from Winona, roughly, in Wisconsin. It was cool.
And so here's a question also. Do you have a personal favorite episode? And I'm gonna go down with Kinstone on that one too. I think that I had been there one time, just really briefly, to catch a sunset with some friends of mine. We were over in Wisconsin eating dinner somewhere and just ran into the grounds long enough to watch the sunset. But to go out there and they had music, there was these flutes.
It was the solstice, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ugh, that was really.
It was cool.
If you have not been there,
you need to go
Yeah,
to
it's
Kinstone.
definitely worth
That
a
was
visit.
definitely that was the question. Something about Winona, a standout fact about Winona. Yeah. So here's my standout fact about Winona that I kind of knew, but is really solidified for me is that this town and the area right around it is so much more than people realize a lot of times. I think even people who live here. I've had this conversation with local folks on more than one occasion where they're just like, yeah, but really, why would a tourist come to Winona? Because, I mean, like, what's there to do? I swear to you,
Wow.
a person who was a lifelong
I wish I
resident
had more
here,
hours in the day. You know,
I know.
There's so much to do around here.
I know, and so I think a standout fact is that it is irrefutable that there is absolutely no excuse for being bored in this city, and that we are embarrassingly rich in things to do, and
Yeah, for me, it wasn't a Facebook Live. It was like just a promotional video I made for Visit Winona. But I wanted to make something about the state parks in the area, and I realized that there are 5 state parks within a 20-minute drive of Winona. You know, it's really cool that we're like a hub for so much nature. You know, for so many outdoor things to do.
right. Oh, I want to show you my shirt because I just got it today. Hang on. Can you read it? It says "Sweet like sugarloaf." So our visitor center, you know, if you haven't been in the visitor center, I that's why I think it's time to go back. Like, I think it's been long enough now that we can start kind of revisiting some of the places that we started off with a year and a half ago. And the visitor center is one of I think the best surprises in Winona. When you walk in there, especially if you were in there a few years ago, and it was just like everything was in glass cases, and it was like pens and magnets, and you know, it wasn't that great. And now it's so great. Kate Carlson, just a nod to Kate, the partnership director, also is in charge of the visitor center, and so has bought like all this great inventory. This is actually made by the Nice Minnesota people, the people who won the People's Choice, the Hidden Gem Award for Visit Winona.
There's a sofa and a coffee table.
Yeah, and I think there's free coffee. Kate, is there? I know, I probably should.
Yeah.
I'm going to get myself a set of keys for that building.
Steak dinner, glass of wine.
But, there's also brochures about everything in the area to do. Also, the staff there is a group of people who just know, everything. I mean, they're really so specially handpicked because they're nice people. They're really helpful people, and they're really knowledgeable people.
And enthusiastic.
And now also there's all this great merchandise. It's also online. If you go to Visit Winona's Facebook page, or not Facebook page, I'm sorry, our website, visitwinona.com, you'll see in the top image is a little link that'll take you to a shop where you can buy, if you're not here, you can buy a lot of merchandise. Christmas is coming. But it's full of just really fun t-shirts and sweatshirts and
and prints,
stuff,
original
art.
prints.
There's some artwork in there. Yeah, it's great. Well, let's see. All right, any other questions? Let's see.
Kate responded.
Coffee, tea, and hot chocolate for guests at the visitor center.
Wow, the trifecta of hot beverages.
So visitor center is on winter hours right now. They're open on the weekends, and that will be through the winter, if I'm not mistaken, and for sure through the shopping season. And they're going to be part of the shop till you drop,
the gift shop
hop shop.
walk. Yeah,
the gift shop hop. Is that what it's called?
Something like that.
Yeah, you need to go in there if you have not. That's a cool spot. So, wow, you guys, thanks for all your great questions. Thanks for watching. I can't see quite well enough to see who all is watching, but I see, we've had anywhere from 20 to 30 people coming along with us on this little. Another note from Kate. Visitor Center open Saturdays and Sundays 10 to 3 through March 2020, and then it'll go to its full hours. So come on the weekend. thank you guys so much for doing this with us. It's been fun. I appreciate your questions, and I appreciate you following this series. I'm really just so proud of what we're doing because I'm so proud of Winona. Also, I'm proud that other communities are trying to emulate what we're doing. We've won 2 awards. We won a state marketing award for the Facebook Live series, and we also won an Upper Midwest Convention Visitor Bureau award for marketing. And in that one competed against like some really big dogs like Rockford, Illinois, and it's a really big CVB. So I love what we're doing. I love all of you people who are staying connected with us, and keep sending us your comments. Keep giving us shout outs too when we do this. We love to have people weigh in and say where they're watching from, and keep sending us your suggestions. Where do you want to see us go? And keep voting. And we're just going to keep doing this until we run out of places to go, and that's going to be never. So thanks, everybody. Happy Thursday, and we'll see you somewhere next week. Not sure yet. Bye.
Bye.
We're trying to say goodbye, but we just can't.